We're going to talk about Federalist number 14. It's one of my favorites because he talks about 6 important things that we need to reflect on as we go along. Okay? One of the things, the first thing that he says, we're experimenting with something new. We are trying something new in a way that we have chosen a representative republic, not a democracy. Remember, when he talks about democracy, he's talking about people showing up, people themselves showing up every week, every other week, who knows, every day in the town square and casting a vote for everything, rather than choosing representatives, choosing wise representatives to represent them. You delegate some authority to the representative so that he or she can, on your behalf, cast a vote, make the decision that this is good for the long-term well-being of you, your family, your country, and hopefully the planet. So he says that's the first difference. The second difference that he mentions is we are creating a union, a federal union, that the authority in the national government, in the union, is enumerated authority. Enumerated, in other words, we have numbered it, we have limited it, we have said exactly what that authority is. We're not giving all of the authority to the central government. And it is enumerated in the Constitution. So he's going to talk about that. And the third thing that he talks about, he says intercourse between the states. And now you have to remember, when he says that, communication between the states, he says that is going to improve. What he has in mind is that back then, over 2 centuries ago, the only way you could communicate is by the fastest way on land would be to get on a horse and go from one point A to point B and get a message. Or if you were going to send something, it would be on a cart hooked to a horse or a mule and taken from city A to city B. He says, once we create this union, we're going to build roads, we're going to build canals, and this communication would be faster. Now imagine the way we communicate. I make this video, and within a minute or two, within 3 minutes, it is available to anybody who's interested in hearing what I have got to say anywhere in the world, if he or she has a small phone and Wi-Fi, or has paid their bill and gets fast reception. This is just immense. So when he talks about communication and improvement in communication, he's saying instead of taking 3 months for us to send this letter from here to there, it's going to take a month. Whereas now we can do so many things so fast and communicate, exchange ideas. So keep that in mind. It's very important for our project, for what we are going over these Federalist Papers for, because we want to tell the world, we want to remind all our brothers and sisters that we can create a better future for ourselves. The fourth point that he brings up in Federalist number 14, he uses a beautiful sentence. He says, hearken not to the voice, that petulant voice that tells you that the form of government recommended for you is a novelty. People are going to come and tell you, this is not going to work, this is so new, this is so crazy, this union, this form of union is so crazy. He says, don't let them fool you. These petty voices, this unreasonable, afraid people that are so comfortable in their little town, in their little city, and they don't realize the reality of the world as it is becoming, the new concerns that we have, and the new opportunities that we have and we can create. He says, don't listen to them, because that negative voice will always want to keep you down, not let you fully realize your full potential as a human being. And number 5, and this is beautiful because he says, you Americans, at that time, he's telling you Americans, and now we say you, our brothers and sisters all over the world, regardless of what country you live in, have not suffered blind veneration for that past. And the posterity will be indebted to you. We have to put aside our veneration for all the crazy things that we are used to from the past. We cannot accept them as idols and worship them. We cannot be fools anchored to a past and a past system that no longer can help us with the challenges and the opportunities that we will have in the future. And posterity will be indebted to us. Future generations will be indebted to us that we did the right thing at the right time, before it was too late, before health of this planet was endangered more, and we foolishly did nothing about it. So it's time now to not be afraid of the future. And the last part, it says, let us deliberate and decide on this question. Deliberate and decide. Look, he's talking wisdom. He's talking for us to study, to read, to deliberate, to exchange ideas, and not feel like we cannot do anything about our future. We have to deliberate and decide. We don't want to do it at the snap of a finger, but we want to be wise, use the experience of ages, and after deliberation, make the right decision. Now we, in studying the Federalist Papers, and in turn the American federalism and American civilization, and then with that studying other forms of federalism elsewhere, Canada, India, Australia, Germany, Brazil, on and on. The European Union's experiment, we too can learn from that, and in 3 to 5 generations make a good decision for our future. So the next video I'll start reading this, and we'll talk about these 6 points. Thank you.